Well, Marky Dragon, also known as Marcus Eikenberry in real life, and I'd like to talk about testing customer trust, why it's important. So this is something that I've learned with my entrepreneurial activities, and I've built many websites that sell things, or that provide products, or that provide resources. And one of the things that I've learned is that customer trust enhances conversions. And what I mean by that is that if you have a website that's selling something, let's just say that you've got a website up there selling something, you got all the information about it and everything, but you know, the people look at it and they don't quite know what's wrong, whatnot. They just don't know whether or not this would be a good place to buy from. Okay, so I think all of you have probably experienced that. You've come up to a point where you said, you know, it's not something that you're willing to take a risk on. Okay, so maybe you need to put like a security seal, you know, or so like this domain is verified, or you know, hacker safe, that you know that this domain is secure, your information is safe with us, or a PayPal seal of being a verified PayPal account. Bugs flying into my ear. A verified PayPal account, or you know, whatever other payment methods that you accept, that you show some sort of verification. So I can tell you that we tested this on one of our sites, and we tested this with the HackerSafe logo. And HackerSafe is a service by McAfee. They actually charge based on how many people visit your site, and so what they do is they do a bunch of external tests against your site, and they try to, with automated processes and then maybe some human follow-up if they detect something, they try to actually penetrate your server and get access or find vulnerabilities. And so they do this, and if they can't get in, then you qualify for this seal. And so when you sign up, they'll do a scan first thing, and then the scan will tell you what your vulnerabilities are, things that you need to take care of. You take care of those, and then it scans again, and maybe find a couple other things, and it'll scan daily, actually. So it, and like I said, it costs per visitor to the site, and so you have to make sure that you're actually making money from the people who are visiting your site. You wouldn't put it on like a forum or something like that. It wouldn't apply there. But another domain trust, or you know, an SSL certificate at login or whatever, that would equal trust. So we put in this this HackerSafe thing, and we did a test. We said, okay, for every other person that visits the site, and everybody gets cookied as they come in, it says, okay, I'm going to show one person the logo on the page, and I'm not going to show the other one. And then the measure of success is to whether or not they make a purchase. And so it cookies you so that you have the same experience every time that you come in, so that you're not seeing a different page each time you land there, which is very important, because if you change the way things look every other page load, people get confused and they go away, and that becomes unsuccessful just on both regards. And so it's done with this A/B split testing, and what we found was that based upon it's showing that we actually had about a 3% increase in the number of purchases. And so a 3% increase in you know, how many people purchase, that's pretty big, actually. And now this isn't like that we went from 1% to 3%, it's like we went from 1% to 1.3%. And but when you take in all the money into account and you say, okay, so is this worth having? And with McAfee's model, where you have to pay per visitor, I said, okay, how much is it per visitor? And I forget, you know, how much it was per 1,000 visitors or whatnot. And then, okay, so we made this much, this is our average sale, we made this much more sales, we made this much more profit because of it. Does that profit then cover the cost of paying for the service? And we found that it actually paid for it. It paid for it, and we had about that same amount left over. And so it's not stellar, but it was a reason to pay for it. And we paid, I don't know, gosh, on that one, I think we're paying about $1,500 a year. And so what happened was it caused us to make about $3,000 more in profit on the sales, the extra sales that happened. And so overall, we made an additional profit of $1,500 for a year. Not so exciting when you're talking volumes that are way higher than that, but it is an indication that something good is happening there. And so you you take these measurements and you figure out, okay, now if I add a PayPal, verified logo, does that cause sales to go up? And the and all of these things. Now you can have too much, and so that's an issue. But what you do is you test all of them and you just keep the ones that are most effective. And so anyway, some other things about customer trust is that when you are interacting with your community, with your customers and everything, it's very important to always be honest and forthright. You don't have to tell them everything, but you do need to be honest with them. And too many times I've seen other companies say, oh, it's okay to lie to our customers in this circumstance, it's the best for them and everything. That's bullshit. If you have to lie to your customers, then just don't say anything at all. Honestly, just don't answer them. And because lying is not the solution. You need trust of them. You need to demonstrate this over and over and over again. You need to give people a reason to trust you and try never to give them a reason to distrust you. And and there are some people who are not consolable. That will post comments or send you an email or call you, and that they're upset about something, and you just can't resolve any issues with that. But at the same time, there's always those people who won't trust you. But always keep clear communication that is honest, and if you make a mistake, own up to it. So that is what I do, and it's very difficult. It's difficult to say in public, gee, I was wrong about this, even when you thought you were so right and everything. But you'll find that what happens is that people give you a lot of respect because they know that you have the ability to reverse yourself if something changes from the way you thought it was. And so I think that's a really big deal, and I think that's something that if you have staff, that you should be instilling that in them. And I think that when you're hiring people, that you should really test potential employees' ethics and morals before you hire them, because you can get the wrong people on the team and that can propagate, and you don't want that screwed up stuff. You need to be respected. There are a lot of companies out there that just really have trust issues with them. And one of the in the video game realm, one of the biggest ones is Hammerpoint, that they just have these trust issues which are just horrible. And part of the problem is that they have many times made statements in the public that weren't true, or they made statements that they changed the answer later, and it dramatically impacted the player base. Another example is Electronic Arts. They have a big history of really just dropping the ball on customer support and everything. And while I haven't felt like they're lying, they ignore people so much. So, and on the flip side, look at Blizzard. Blizzard, they interact with their community a lot, and they go above and beyond in customer service, and I have never seen them say that, you know, oh my, we were wrong about something, but I have seen them think very carefully about what it is they're saying and doing, and how that impacts their players. And so, and maybe that's, I want to say maybe it's a maturity thing, because like Infestation for Hammerpoint, you know, relatively new game. Blizzard's been around for a long time, but I can't say that because EA acts very immature in many cases too. Maybe they just never grew up. So on that respect, I have high hopes that, you know, that as, like, you know, Hammerpoint grows and everything with their games, that they do better and better each time. That would be nice to see. They made a great game with Infestation, but they had this customer issue that's just out there. So anyway, those are my thoughts. I hope that helps, and those are just some things that I hold important as values for myself, for my companies, and while it's harder, it's the higher road, it's harder, it is, in my opinion, has paid off tenfold beyond anything else. And lying is only a short-term solution, or being dishonest is only a short-term solution, and people figure it out. They do. They figure it out even when they don't know that you're being dishonest. They say, look at that guy, he's looking all shifty and everything. What is it that I don't trust about him? They may not know what it is they don't trust, but they feel like there's something wrong here, so they go to avoid it. And so anyway, that's that. Okay, so thank you for watching, and stay tuned. Next week, another episode. I'm Marky Dragon. Take care.